The murder of Alana Bernard, a mother of three, has put criminal violence in a new light. It's not just about drugs and money. There's something darker lurking in the hearts of men, seducing them away from their own best interests.
This man who pulled the trigger could have been a young boy who maybe even had a mom and a dad. He maybe even had a level of education. But what happened is it's inside. And if sin is not dealt with, it will become a slippery slope.
Pastor Heath Flitcroft of the Potter's House has only lived in St. Lucia for a few years, but previous experience as a pastor in Las Vegas has taught him that crime is a sin that requires a spiritual solution.
And people blame it on the government. People blame it on, people coming in from other countries to corrupt. I've heard it all. But they really have to, we're all rejecting the thought of it's our sin and it's our land that's suffering, that's broken.
According to this perspective, in order for a man to point a gun at a young mother and shoot her several times, the community around him had to be going down a slippery slope for quite a while.
This man did not wake up just out of a good life and decide to start killing people. There was a progression of sin. It started small, began to grow. For whatever it was, if it was payment, if it was a decision of, he had a vendetta against this woman, whatever it may be. The truth behind it all is that he valued his own interest and his own desires more than someone else's life. And when you think about sin in that context, it opens up into a kind of a scary view. Biblically speaking, when you sin, especially against another person, you're lowering their life according to your desires.
No one wakes up as a killer. It takes mental practice at the very least.
Biggest mistake is, yes, how wicked is this man? And I agree. That's a wicked thing to do. But he was obviously directed, and he was intending to do this. He was sent. So I've heard that a few times, various ways. But either way, Romans 5:12 says that through one man's sin, death entered the world. So we have this issue of sin coinciding with death. And so what happens is we can forget where we are, that our sin is also a troubling thing. And you see the progression of that scripture. It started small.
A multitude of St. Lucian stakeholders have joined the effort to curb criminal violence, but as far as Pastor Heath is concerned, the solution is four simple words. Jesus is the answer. But what about those for whom Christianity is part of a history of institutionalized oppression? What about people who need a helping hand and a word of practical advice before they come to Jesus?
If I were to go secular without saying Jesus, I could say you need to let something spiritual in that will change you. I wish I could say it was something as easy as just stop hurting each other, do good, think positive thoughts. But unfortunately, it's not.
For Choice News Now, I'm Jason Seaflay.